Hi dear friends and subscribers, welcome to the Cricket Happening Show for today. We are looking at the match between the third one-day international between England and Sri Lanka, which was played at the Mecca of English cricket today, Lords. And who doesn't have a dream of scoring a century on the Lord's cricket ground? Yes, Alistair Cook did it for England by making a century, 119 of 143 balls with 13 fours. He actually held the innings together, and England put up a score of 246 for 7 on the board, which was not going to be enough, and that was proved by Sri Lanka later on when it was Dinesh Chandimal from Sri Lanka who came as one drop and actually hit a century and showed that he's a player for the future for Sri Lanka. And what a dream for him here, coming in and scoring his second one-day century here. The first century that he scored, one would remember, was against India, but today was a very good knock, where what one saw in Chandimal, in fact he was the one who actually piloted them to victory finally, with a boundary there, first a six and a boundary, and well, he made 105 runs, unbeaten of 126 balls, 11 fours and 2 sixes, and took Sri Lanka to victory in this particular Lord's match, and also give them a 2-1 series lead in this NatWest series. Sri Lanka won this match by 6 wickets. As far as Dinesh Chandimal was concerned, what was very important and what was good to see about him was initially when he was batting with Jayawardene, he came on and started with attacking intent and stroked 2 fours, and he also hit one more boundary, and after that he gradually settled down, and as I said, he played with a lot of responsibility, and also whenever he got an opportunity he was scoring some very good boundaries. Yes, he definitely got a bit roughed up by Stuart Broad with some short stuff there from the English bowlers, but I thought he actually weathered that storm very well, and finally he was there to take Sri Lanka off to victory. Well, earlier England made 246 for 7, batting first after winning the toss at the Lord's cricket ground, and where Alistair Cook and Kiswitter opened the innings, but well, they lost 2 early wickets. First to go was Kiswitter, who was a victim of Malinga to a slower delivery. He was gone for 3. Jonathan Trott disappointed, just struggled there at the crease, making 2 runs of 13 balls, being a victim of Luckman. So there were 30 for 2 at that stage. Kevin Pietersen came in and joined Cook. Cook was looking good. Cook was actually playing in a very sedate fashion, but he was also seeing to it that England's score was moving. And after Kevin Pietersen came, suddenly there was a lot of flurry of boundaries when Kevin Pietersen actually got stuck on to Suranga Lakmal and stroked him for 3 boundaries. Kevin Pietersen was playing his flick through mid-wicket with a lot of poise and a lot of flair, I would say. And Pietersen was looking good, and Alistair Cook on the other hand was also giving him good support. But Kevin Pietersen, after making a very good 41 of 43 balls, once again for the 3rd time in this series consecutively, he fell a victim to the Jivanta Mendes leg spin as Kevin Pietersen top-edged the ball down to square leg. Suraj Zanadeve held the catch, and Kevin Pietersen was walking for 41 of 43 balls with 6 fours. After that, Ian Morgan also gave away his wicket to Mendes when he hit one very good boundary, but of the very next delivery, he actually came into the line of the ball from Jivanta Mendes, and he was trapped in front. And Ian Morgan was walking LBW ball Mendes for 4, and England at that particular time were 85 for 4 in the 22nd over. And as I said, there was no sense of urgency in the England innings. They were just meandering along. Nobody was really talking about, barring Pietersen, who made that 41. There was nobody was talking there, and when the score became 85 for 4, the pressure really added on Alistair Cook, because he had to hold the innings together. And there was a phase during which Alistair Cook and Ian Bell, even though they took the batting power play, they could realize only 24 runs out of that, with Ian Bell also playing in his own way. So as you know, Alistair Cook and Ian Bell are such players who really play according to the demands of the game. And I think it was right, because from 85 for 4, you have to actually consolidate your position. They did that. And well, but after that, Bell fell for 30 or 46 balls to the bowling of Luckmal. Malinga, in fact, Preston played a good hand by supporting Alistair Cook to actually reach a century. Alistair Cook, as his captain, got his first century in a one-day international, and also he got his first century, as I said, in a one-day international as the captain, the full-time captain of the England team there. And Tim Bresnan's contribution was 26 of 29 balls with 1 4. And that's it, 246 for 7 on the board for England after Swan actually slamming 11 runs of 4 balls, hitting 1 4 and 1 6 with the bowling of Lasith Malinga, and he was not out on 11. 246 for 7 was the England scorecard, but I thought the Sri Lankan bowling has to be given credit because they bowled superbly. Angelo Matthews just bowled 1 over for 4 runs, Malinga was a bit costly today, 2 for 54. Kulashekara 10 overs 1 minute, none for 40. Lakmal was also costly, 2 for 62. But the spinners were the ones who really bowled well. If you see Suresh Ranadive's figures, he had 8 overs, none for 33. But pick up the lot was Jivanta Mendes, the right arm leg spinner, who continued to impress now. 10 overs, no made in 240, and 1 over for 9 runs for Tilna Kandambi. Sri Lanka, well, they lost their captain Tilakatne Dilshan very, very early on in the innings, as it was a situation, you miss and I hit, and that was what Bresnan did. Bresnan hit the stumps of Dilshan. Dilshan was walking for threes. That was the first wicket to go, chasing 246, and 246 always on this wicket would have been very easy, because the reason being the ball was really coming out of the bat. There was nothing in the pitch really, and probably I thought Sri Lanka, even though they made 249 for 4, I thought it was due to the fact that Angelo Matthews probably wanted Dinesh Chandimal to actually get a century, and that's the precise reason he decided to bide his time at the crease. And if you see, Angelo Matthews was not out on 1 of 21 balls when the victory came, when Dinesh Chandimal actually got to his century and remained not out on 105, 126 balls with 11 fours and 2 sixes. But even the Sri Lankan board, one could see the tense moment in the Sri Lankan dressing room, where Tilakatne Dilshan, the Dilip Mendes, Marwan Attapadu, they were all speaking to each other. Tilakatne Dilshan was keeping his hands on his head because he wanted the match to finish off very quickly, and that was right. So probably he was worried that if the match was not finished, probably there will be more pressure on England, and precisely that's what happened. 17 runs and 7 overs there. Suddenly you saw an maiden over bowled by Jane Dane Bash to Angelo Matthews, probably due to the fact that Angelo Matthews wanted to give Dinesh Chandimal to get to a century. Well, it is quite different that Chandimal actually smacked a 6 of the bowling of Bresnan over long on, then a 4 to actually clinch the victory for Sri Lanka. That was great, real credit to him. Mahela Jayawardene played a very, very good hand there. In fact, once again showing his ominous form here by making 79 in absolutely orthodox fashion of 77 deliveries, 9 fours in that. And what was very good to see, if you do the comparison there, like 32 for 2 for England in the first 10 overs, and Sri Lanka, due to Mahela Jayawardene playing such good strokes, they were 61 for 1 in the 10th over. So that was what really, they set up the tempo, they maintained the tempo. After that, it was Sangakkara who came in, and it was very good to see Chandimal playing under the playing under the guidance of Mahela Jayawardene once, and then once Mahela Jayawardene departed, caught at point by Morgan of the bowling of Dernbach for 79 of 77 balls. Then Sangakkara came in and guided him, but Sangakkara himself fell a victim to Graham Swan. There is a wonderful piece of field bowling by Graham Swan. The first ball, he beat him outside the off stump with a turning delivery, and Sangakkara next fell a victim as he hit a ball which was up to him, and Morgan took the catch at short extra cover, and he was gone for 25 of 47 balls with 2 fours. Kandambi was LBW ball, Graham Swan for 11 of 13 balls with 1 4. In the end, as I said, Dinesh Chandimal actually taking them to victory with a car for a 6, hitting a beautiful shot, moving his feet and hitting a 6 over long on, and then also finishing it off with a boundary to win the match for Sri Lanka. Well, Anderson 9.2 overs, no maiden, none for 55. Tim Bresnan 9 overs, 148. Stuart Broad was, again, as you know, Stuart Broad's body language could be seen there because he has been fined for dissent, for actually, voicing some words at Billy Bowden, the umpire, and probably he's not happy with that. Dan Broad actually, it was reflected there, 10 overs, no maiden, none for 52. Certain times Broad was very, very frustrated in the field there. Joe Dernbach, 10 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 55. But the pick of the lot was Graham Swan with his right arm off spin, 10 overs, no maiden, 2 for 32. And Dinesh Chandimal, after scoring his first century at the Lord's Cricket Ground and his second in his international career, and looks to be a real player for the future, actually took the Man of the Match award. What a knock from Dinesh Chandimal. But let me tell you, probably experience will teach Dinesh Chandimal a lot. Probably Dinesh Chandimal wanted to wait for his century, and that's the precise reason he bided his time. And Angelo Matthews also wanted him to get to his century. But probably with experience, I think Dinesh Chandimal will feel that first he has to actually get his team interest on first and then go to his century. But still, I still give credit to him, because even though a lot of time was wasted in the final analysis, but still he managed to hit a 6 and a 4. And as I said, he's looking a real player for the future. Probably he has some shortcomings with the short delivery. That is something every player has while they come into the international arena. So probably he will iron that out, and I think he would be a complete player. So good luck, Chandimal, and well done, Chandimal. Thanks, dear fans. But before that, I would just like to give you one breaking news. I'm told that for the third and final test between India and West Indies at Dominica in Roseau Stadium, the first time it is going to be played there, Ram Naresh Sarwan is out of the West Indies team, and in comes Kieron Powell. That's it from me, your host Ram, for the Cricket Happening show for today. See you all tomorrow. Thank you.